going to test this guy again, the UMX Cessna on the floats. Now that the control rod for the front wheel's been removed, which I'm thinking was what was causing the problem. I had to remove the front wheel because it was binding on the front brace here, so you couldn't operate the rudder properly with it on because it's tied to the rudder servo. And then I think when you remove the wheel, you undo the screw through that little thing there and take the wheel off. The problem is the control rod's left in there, the control arm that's on the end of the rod from the servo is left in there, and it's sort of wandering around loose, and I think it was causing problems binding with things. Anyway, it's out now and back in the box. Oh, these are all fallen over. This is not me. I did not do this. They were knocked over by the storm, I think. The fences there. I sometimes do move them out the way and things. But I think there was a bad thunderstorm last night, and I think it knocked them over. The wind knocked them over. You wouldn't think wind knocks something like this over, but I think that's what it must have been, unless somebody did this yesterday for some reason. It was pretty stormy yesterday, and it's pretty misty still now, but not misty enough that I think we're going to have major problems. Certainly not flying. Well, no, I think you'd have major problems with anything. It's clearing already. So we'll see. Just after sunrise. I can't actually see the sun yet because it's behind the trees, but we'll see. Let's hope all works well with this guy now, and we can put these problems to rest. Okay. We'll take him off. We'll take him off in safe mode, and then we'll see. No wind, so that should not be an issue. Not that a little wind's, the end of the world, but I mean, just when you're trying to test control stuff, it's better not to have to be thinking about, oh, is it the wind or not? Okay. Whew. Okay.
AS3X mode.
Yeah, well, there's one nice thing, is switching mode doesn't really, well, unless you, if you got the stick strongly over, I'm sure switching mode would do something quite abruptly, but if you've not got the sticks over, switching mode of itself does almost nothing, which is nice. And of course, switching back into safe mode if he's not level will level him, but if he's flying fairly level anyway, switching mode doesn't even cause a twitch. Well, I'm not doing anything exciting, but equally I'm not seeing any problems at the moment, which is good. Yeah. Yeah, now I would say he seems to be flying okay now. Let's not go too high. Always the compromise height, High enough that you've got a mistake or two underneath you, but not so high that you can't see the blithering thing. No problem so far, thank goodness. Well, I'm not, famous last words. I would never like to say, sure you're not going to have problems, but I wouldn't expect to, because I really think that was what was causing the problem. The rod that goes from the rudder servo to the front wheel is still in place. I didn't take that off because I would have had to have taken the wing off to do that, and I really didn't want to, because it's not easy to do. It's glued and taped on, so it's a messy job to take it off and put it back on. But I don't see why that rod should cause a problem. It's not flapping around loose. If it were flapping around loose and unsupported, yes, I could definitely see it would cause a problem. It could jam the rudder servo royally. But it's not. It goes through, actually, I think it's a wooden support. There's a piece of wood with a small hole in it, and that rod passes through that before it gets to the front wheel. So, there might be a little hesitation to turn there, but I think it was just because I was going too slowly and didn't have good way. He was close to a stall, and of course planes don't like turning when they're close to a stall. Yeah, so long as he's got a bit of speed on, he hesitated to turn there. Those birds, I'm pretty sure that birds like to fly around RC planes. See, look how I've got 3 birds flying around with me now, and I really, I think they're doing it on purpose. they're coming to check out what this other flying thing is, because why would they be flying around so close? They left me now, but...
Time remaining, 4 minutes.
Okay, well, hopefully we've fixed this problem now, because I don't see any problem with him now. That seems all in order. You can see the sun's come up over the horizon now, just about. Better off without it, but really, I mean, just because it gets in your eyes. Of course, if you go that way, once it comes up above the horizon and it's just low above the horizon over there, it's a bit awkward because... Yes, should have left the rudder out of that, frankly. I don't know why I put rudder into that. If you put rudder in, you end up with a sort of an Immelman turn with a 90-degree twist, which is not really... Is there any point in that? It's a more straightforward one. Anyway, I don't see any problems, fortunately, with the way this guy's flying now. That's nice words. No.
Time remaining, 3 minutes.
Yeah. He's a bit hesitant to turn if he's going very slowly, but then I don't think that's fair enough. Lots of planes are. If you're going extremely slowly and you've got very little way on a plane, like what they call, steerage way, so just not, if the plane's not really flying, if it's on the verge of a stall, yes, it won't like to turn because it's not flying properly, but so long as he's flying, so long as he's moving, he seems to fly fine. So I think we may, there he goes. I think I may take him to the float fly and see if I can fly him off water. Oh, come on. Oh, no, it's doing it. No, I seem to be doing it there. I don't know. He does seem to prefer you to control him with a rudder than the ailerons, it must be said. But it's okay. I mean, he's not too bad. Bit of this, bit of that. He did seem to be not wanting to turn very much there, but... he's not too bad. Okay. A little bit near to the long grass there, but okay.
Throttle cut on.
I think... Almost looks to me as if the rudder has more left deflection than right deflection. Why? It's probably those rods just tend to bend a bit, but basically I think he's okay now. Pretty much. I've got throttle cut on. Again, putting throttle cut on is not such a big issue with these small models, but let's just take it off. Those propellers are... I don't know. Actually, I don't think his propeller's wet at all. I sometimes just spin the propeller to throw water off the propeller. But, since he never touched the ground with anything but the bottom of his floats, it's really only the bottom of his floats that are wet. That's the nice thing about flying him with the floats. He never really got wet other than with the bottom of his floats. Okay. I think that's, basically working okay now. So we'll maybe give him, we'll see. They are predicting 25 km/h winds for Saturday, which is the day of the float fly. We'll see. If it's too windy, I might be a bit dubious about flying something as small as this off water, but we'll see. I'll take him anyway, maybe, and we'll see how he goes.